Hi there. If you're a freelancer, consultant, or property owner, you probably know how messy life can get, juggling different projects, bank accounts, and currencies. Expense6 is not your average expense tracker. It's a financial control center designed to solve that very problem. Let me show you how it works with practical examples. When you first log in, you get a default personal work zone. This is perfect for your day-to-day spending, like coffee runs and groceries. But let's imagine you're a busy person. You have an investment property in Dubai and a separate consulting business in Australia. This is where Expense6 truly shines. We're going to create separate work zones for each one. No more mixing your business expenses with your personal ones at tax time. Let's create the property work zone first. I'll tap the plus button. I'll select investment property as the type. We'll name it Dubai property. Since the income and expenses for this property are in dirhams, I'll set AED. You can set any currency for Workzone, which is perfect for international business. I'll pick a color to make it easy to spot, tap Create, and add the current opening balance for my Dubai bank account. Just like that, we have a dedicated space. Now everything related to this property, rent income, maintenance fees, council rates, will live right here, completely separate from everything else. Now, inside the work zone, there are accounts. They relate to the real-world bank accounts or cash in hand. So let's create a new account by going to the Account section. Tap Create New Account. The currency is already selected, so let's give it the name HSBC, and then select an icon. Since the account doesn't have an opening balance, we can go to the menu and select Adjust Balance. Now we can add the real balance of the account. Go back to the work zone and you can easily swipe through the accounts to see their details. Okay, let's log an expense. I just paid the council rates for this property. I'll tap the plus button. As I start typing council rates, the Smart Engine suggests the category, especially when we have entered this previously. If not, we need to select a category. Now this is quite important. We need to categorize our expenses and income properly, not just for our own reports, but for our accountant. Then we know exactly where our money is going and what we can claim. Once I hit Proceed, I'm taken to this calculator screen where I can add the amount. If I had a complex bill, say for 12 months, I could even do the math right here, like 450 times 12, and hit equals. The app does the work for you. Now look at the top, tax deductible. Since this is a valid property expense, I'm going to toggle this on. This is how you build a perfect tax-ready report without any stress at the end of the year. And finally, no more lost receipts. I'll tap the paperclip, snap a photo of the bill, and it's attached to this transaction forever. Also, I can change the date here or add a note by pressing this button. We hit Add Expense, and done. The work zone balance is updated, and the record is saved, secure, and categorized. Now let's say I have a business partner. Instead of emailing spreadsheets back and forth, I just tap More and go to Team Access. I can add a partner using their Expense6 user ID. Now both of us can see all the transactions and add expenses to this one work zone. It's total transparency, and it keeps everything in one place. Okay, let's switch gears. Remember that consulting business in Australia? I've already set up a new work zone for it with its own bank account in Australian dollars. For this business, we don't just track expenses, we need to get paid. So we'll head to the Invoice tab. The first time you do this, you'll set up your company details, name, registration number, like an ABN in Aussie, and don't forget to add your logo at the end, because this will be added to the generated invoice. This is a one-time setup that makes every invoice look professional. Next, I'll add my customers. Press Select a Customer, then fill in their details. The next time I bill them, I just select their name from the list without going through it all over again. You can add a footer too. Most of the time, this is a thank you note with your account information. You can maintain multiple footers and choose from them. Finally, you can add the items. These are the products or services I sell. If I'm a consultant, I can create an item called Financial Consulting and set the unit to hours. Now I simply select the item and enter the quantity. I can now select if you need to add a discount to the total or add taxes like GST. Once I save the invoice, I can now share it with my client. Here's a feature I love: partial payments. When your client pays half the invoice, you can tap Add Payment, log that $500, and the invoice automatically updates to show amount due. The app even generates a receipt for that partial payment. You can click on this tab to see the full history of your payments. You can also set an invoice to be recurring by tapping on this button. You can set the date or the frequency in which the invoice will be triggered. As you can see, it's a full invoicing system right in your pocket.
All right, next up, here's a pro tip I use all the time: the car work zone. We all have vehicle expenses: fuel, insurance, maintenance. But how much is your car really costing you? By creating a car work zone, you can track every single dollar you spend on it. Now, when you make an expense, it's most of the time from your personal account. So when you add an expense, for example, service, you can select the source account to be from another work zone.
In this case, my personal. And for things like insurance or registration, I'll use the reminders feature. I'll set a reminder for renew insurance, set the date and the amount. When the day comes, I get a notification, and I can approve it to instantly log that expense. Now, all this tracking is great, but what about controlling spending? Let's jump back to the personal work zone. I'll go to Budgets and set a $500 monthly limit for my default account. As I log my expenses, the app will show me exactly how I'm tracking against that goal. Now, let's say my Australian business is doing well and it's time to pay myself. I'll go to my consulting work zone and hit Transfer. My From work zone is already selected, and the From account is set to the default. Now I need to select the To work zone and account. That would be my personal work zone and its default account. Because the accounts are in different currencies, the app smartly asks for the exchange rate. Enter that and hit Transfer, and the books are perfectly balanced. The money leaves your business and appears in your personal account. If you look in each work zone, you have a simple, clear dashboard. You can see your spending by category, recent transactions, fund transfers, invoices, monthly summaries, etc. For example, if I tap View More in the Categories section, I can see all the categorical spending. I can also download reports by tapping this button. When I tap on one, I can see the details, and again to see individual records. I can edit or delete any record here too. Another thing that I can do is to send my financial records to my accountant. To do that, I need to first add my accountant from the main menu. I will need his Expense6 email address. If he does not have one, he can create an account and send you the details. Once you send a request, he needs to accept it. Then you go to the work zone that you need to share, and then from the menu, select Share with Accountant. Here you can select the date range that you need to share, the work zone is already selected, and the default account too. But you can select another account, and then under the Accountant tab, select the accountant that you have already added. When you hit Share, that accountant gets all the records, including all the receipts and categorical expenses and incomes. That will come so much handy during tax time. I hope this helps you get started. Dive in and create your first work zone.